I was recently asked why it is important to have more than just minimum uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage on your policy. If you're uncertain what those are, I'll put a link in the description to a previous video I did on that subject. But back to the question, why is it important to have more than minimum UM or UIM coverage? Well, the reason is, for example, when dealing with uninsured motorist coverage, if you're involved in an accident and the other party has no insurance, the only method of recovery might be the uninsured motorist coverage. If you just have the minimum limits, you're going to be limiting yourself to, in California, $15,000 per person or $30,000 per occurrence. That might not be enough to cover all of the injuries sustained in the accident. So it would be wise to increase from the minimum to something higher, and you should definitely have your coverage the same as your regular coverage. What I mean by that is, if you're carrying $100,000 of insurance coverage, that means if you cause an accident, there's $100,000 or $300,000 per occurrence for the other people to potentially collect from. You should do yourself a favor and make sure your uninsured and underinsured have the exact same limit, so you're not insuring other people more than you're insuring yourself. And the same goes for the UIM coverage, the underinsured motorist coverage. If you just have the minimum, you essentially don't have any underinsured motorist coverage. But the way underinsured motorist coverage comes into play is when you're in an accident and the other party potentially, let's say, has the minimum coverage. If you're able to collect that entire amount, the $15,000, then the difference between that amount and whatever underinsured motorist coverage you're carrying is an amount that you can potentially recover from. So in that example, if you say you have $100,000 worth of injuries and the other party only has $15,000 worth of coverage, if you collect that $15,000 and you have carried $100,000 of underinsured motorist coverage on your own policy, then there's a difference of $85,000 that you could potentially recover from your own policy. It doesn't cost much to increase your underinsured and uninsured motorist coverage, so we recommend that everybody carry more than the minimum, and you should definitely, whatever your total policy amount is, if you have a 100, 300 policy or 250, 500 or something else, you should try to make sure your uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage matches that. If you have any other questions, call us at Hiding in Irwin. Thank you.